If you've ever wanted to be lost in dark rural Pennsylvania surrounded by murderous cultists and armed with weapons like hammers, wrenches, and pipes to punish these disturbing and dangerous people, Butcher's Creek is the game for you, and it's coming soon. Butcher's Creek is an upcoming indie horror game inspired by the Xbox 360 classic Condemned Criminal Origins, this time developed by David Szymanski, the creator of boomer shooter classic Dusk, submarine horror short Iron Lung, Chop Goblins, Squirrel Stapler, which is a really weird one, collaborator on New Blood's gothic stealth game Gloomwood, and more. If you're watching this video, you're probably familiar with David, his brother, and the creator of My Friendly Neighborhood, and the whole New Blood circle. Butcher's Creek is being self-published by Szymanski as it releases on Steam on January 23rd, 2025, just a few days after this video goes live. There's also a public Butcher's Creek demo on Steam, which I played from start to finish, which is what I'm going to use as the basis for my impressions of this game throughout this video. The premise for Butcher's Creek is a brutal one. Much like the title suggests, it's a first-person melee-focused game in which the player must relentlessly beat and murder members of a violent cult hiding out in a dark, dirty woods in the remote Appalachian forest. While the plot for Butcher's Creek is pretty much under wraps, it appears that the cult is up to no good, making snuff films and possibly pledging their allegiance to something deeper, darker, some kind of mysterious purpose. Those who have played Dusk might recognize this premise a little bit, but Butcher's Creek is even more disturbing, personal, and horror-based than Szymanski's original smash hit, quote-unquote. While I can't say for certain, I'm expecting some epically dark twist in the story somewhere along the way. Butcher's Creek feels and plays like a very dark, spooky, atmospheric horror game, kinda like you'd expect. Between the premise, the great audio design, and the brutality of the world and gameplay, there's no doubt that playing this game makes you feel like you really are alone in the woods with a bunch of murderous weirdos, while also kind of feeling like one yourself. Everything from the game's VHS filter, retro horror vibes, well-designed audio, and vaguely abstract or chalked visuals gives Butcher Creek a disturbing feeling, but you're also left with a desire to see where this dark mystery goes. Much like its inspiration in Sega's classic Condemned series, players will use hammers, knives, pipes, boards, and whatever other tools and objects you can find to beat and butcher your enemies. The player and enemies can also parry attacks, but you must be mindful of your stamina, which is a present system in the game, but also pretty forgiving as long as you aren't sprinting and wildly swinging non-stop. You actually have to time your attacks and moves to overcome your enemies with brutality. In order to heal, players must take photos of blood and murder scenes that you stumble across, or create yourself against your enemies. While I have no idea how long Butcher's Creek will be or what price point it will launch at, the demo was definitely enough to sell me on making it my next low-budget indie horror venture. While even in the demo, some of the game's linear and maze-like level design made navigating this cult's underground compound pretty repetitive and confusing at times, it almost fits with the old-school game design present throughout Butcher's Creek. I mean, the original Doom game had levels that you'd get lost in, right? It's still a classic. If the game has a flaw present in the demo, it's the somewhat confusing navigation of the game's dark, dirty rooms and hallways, but that kinda adds to the horror as well. I expect that we'll see more variety in the environments as the game unfolds, however. And even though the demo has a surprising number of melee weapons, I'm expecting to find more and more creative, brutal, and surprising options later down the road. If you're a fan of retro horror games and/or anything that David has created in the past, chances are that Butcher's Creek will be no different. This game knows what it is, knows how it should feel, play, unsettle the player, and present itself. It's like someone took the cult in Dusk, made it more horrific, slowed down the gameplay, and replaced Dusk's action with a disturbing atmosphere and more meticulous, slow-paced game design. If you think you're going to like this game based on the screenshots, the trailers, and footage, you probably will. And I know that I'll be diving in for the full ride when it releases on January 23rd. If you want more videos like this where we bring your attention to games you should be playing or keeping an eye on, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you're psyched about Butcher's Creek, leave a like and a comment. And if you're looking for something to watch, go check out my second short film, Midnight 2 Born Ruthless, in full 4K on YouTube. It's a full 28 minutes of action inspired by Midnight Society's upcoming extraction shooter, Dead Drop, so go check it out. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Reynolds out.